This is a Hot Pie Media original.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the DNP-CD Sports Podcast, presented by Oddshark. I'm Chad Fisher, alongside my co-host, Mr. Tony Farmer. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Chad. We had a good week with the picks last week, man.
Yeah.
We had that big
I
teaser
think you
play.
did. I don't know if I did.
I had that big teaser play, which was the Titans and Seattle teased down. That 6-point teaser. I told you guys I was in love with that last week. That hit. So whenever my recommendations hit, it's a good week for me.
Titans and Seattle. Yeah, okay, yeah, dude.
Yeah, both big favorites teased down under the 3.
Did you see Urban Meyer after that game, dude?
Dude, I loved your Twitter post, man.
Yeah, I tweeted about that.
That was such a so go ahead and
if you haven't seen
tweet,
the clip of Urban Meyer and Mike Vrabel shaking hands after the game on Sunday, dude, it's hilarious. Urban Meyer looks like I said it on Twitter, it looks like he's like on death row and he's walking to the gas chamber or some shit.
He's out of it, dude.
Dude, he's just like, he looks like
he's dazed.
He doesn't even know where he's at. He's like, where are you at? He's like, I think it's Ohio State, Rose Bowl, 2016.
He's
They're
dazed.
like, nah, bitch, you are in an NFL arena.
Yeah, and now there's all sorts of reports about him being, we already knew the players were starting to be rubbed the wrong way by him, and there was tension. They don't respect him. We saw when they broke that huddle with Grind after his incident of grinding in the bar.
Yeah.
So we already knew the players didn't respect him, but that news seems to be snowballing with the losses, and it's, I think, becoming inevitable that he's not going to make it the rest of the
There's
season.
no way that he can come back next year. First of all, what free agents are going to sign there? It's not like it's like this awesome
Good point.
This awesome market. You know what I'm saying? It's Jacksonville. It's a meth town. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, they got no state income taxes. That helps a little bit, but it's not enough.
A little bit,
it's
but
not
still
enough.
Jacksonville, and your coach is Urban Meyer, who doesn't. This is what I honestly love about this, though, as I'll say this, is that a bunch of things that I always knew about Urban Meyer are coming to like the limelight now.
Fruition, yeah.
Because it's just like people are finally seeing what type of dude this guy is, which is, I've been saying this for years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, the whole entire time he's at Ohio State. Of course, I don't like him because he's at Ohio State and I'm a Michigan fan.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've always known this dude's a dirtbag, goofball, jackass. The way he treats his players, all that stuff, when you have superior talent, that shit works, man. But in the NFL, everybody's got Pro Bowlers. You know,
the curtain's being pulled back on Urban Meyer and who.
No, it is, man.
You knew it already.
It's hilarious. It's just been a microcosm of his entire personality in like the last 8 to 10 weeks of his career in the NFL. Like grinding on some woman. Like we always knew,
bringing Tim Tebow in to camp.
Yeah, we always knew. Yeah, all this shit, man. Yeah, it's just it's a sideshow. If I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, damn dog.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? Because you definitely have to fire him. You're about to owe him a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have maybe fired him for cause a while ago when he was grinding up on
That was the move. I think that was the move to make. I think you bring up a good point about free agents not wanting to go play for Urban Meyer. But if you remove Urban Meyer, suddenly you got Trevor Lawrence there. You got a solid running back in Robinson. And there's a couple pieces on defense that you can work with. And so suddenly, just by removing him, you could make an argument that at least for building toward the future, it is kind of fertile ground for success in the future. But you got to get rid of him first. He's a cancer right now.
Yeah. And you got to get a good coach that can come in there and coach the quarterback. Eric Bieniemy, I don't even know if he'd touch that job. But,
right.
That would be a dream candidate. But they got to get rid of him, man. There's no way. Like, dog, have you ever seen a coach walk like that? Have you ever seen a coach walk like that after a game?
At any level. NFL, college, I mean, it was bad.
He looked like he had like dementia and he didn't know where the hell he was, dude.
It did. It really did.
They're like, hey, the bus station's over that way, Urban. He's like, oh, yeah, I was going to the bus station.
He was out of it, man.
Yeah.
It's like the cameras are on you. You can't fake it for 2 minutes.
Well, no, it's because what he's trying to do is he's trying to get attention for people. He thinks people are going to say like, oh, wow, look how distraught Urban Meyer is. Instead, people are thinking like, dude, get it together. Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to get 63 other guys or 53 other guys to like want to play for you and follow you into battle, so to speak, and shit, when you're looking like dazed and confused, just like lost. Like, dog, I get high as shit and never look like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, ever. You know?
It's so true.
Like,
this is what is written all over this. You know, when coaches leave places, then the real stories start coming out. We saw that when Notre Dame's Coach Kelly, when he left, like all of a sudden people started talking shit about him. Like, oh, yeah, let me tell you about him.
Yeah.
Wait until the stories come out about Urban Meyer, because I suspect this is the tip of the iceberg.
Worse.
What we're hearing now in the media is just a snippet of it, and these players have no choice but to keep these stories to themselves until he's gone. It's going to be fascinating.
Dude, we've already gotten like so much stuff already.
And I think I agree, but I think it's also just the tip of the iceberg. Exactly.
Imagine what's going to happen when he leaves, dude.
Yep, yeah, agreed.
Like how much they disrespected him to begin with, and then he doesn't ride the team plane home.
Yeah.
And like it just looks like you're hanging on to your past there too. You know what I'm saying? You want to go to Columbus because you're in Cincinnati, so you drive up to Columbus.
Yeah.
And you're not with your team. Like, dude, you're an NFL coach now. You're not in college anymore. What are you doing grinding up on fucking sorority girls and shit?
And dude, and I'm sure he didn't say, hey, I'm not going to take the plane home because I want to go grind on sorority girls in the bar.
Yeah.
I think he's probably said, I'm going to go with family to make it sound a little bit more palatable. Yeah. And so then when this comes out, they're like, oh, okay. Yeah. It's just such a shitty situation.
And his wife threw him under the bus, like, at home babysitting, my home babysitting is as usual, Yeah. How you bring your girl on vacation, your wife on vacation, and make her babysit on vacation, dog?
It's rough.
He's like, no, I'm going out with the boys. There's going to be steaks. There's going to be fire bombs. You just don't, car bombs, you know what I'm saying? You just don't.
Yeah.
You just don't want to be there, honey. Shelly, just stay home, watch the kids.
But anyways, I mean, we could probably have an hour talking about Urban Meyer.
I could go.
You know what? That might be, maybe we need an Urban Meyer special
episode. I could do it, dude. I could do it. We could do it now. Shit. I could do it unprepared,
Oh, I love it. Hey, other news before we get to these NFL picks and the college picks coming up. Our John Stockton interview went well. We had a great interview with him. Got a lot of press, man. It was on Fox News. It was on Yahoo. It was on Nesson. New York Daily News covered it. Salt Lake Tribune covered it. So it got a lot of press coverage and people are talking. I've seen several YouTube videos kind of recapping the interview and people are talking about it. And so that's encouraging.
Yeah, it is, man. I thought it was a great interview. I thought it's awesome that John Stockton, disagree with him or agree with him. It takes guts to say that, especially in today's climate and everything, man. And so it's a very polarizing topic. And, when we started the show, we never wanted to do politics and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We made that like a point that we didn't want to talk about that because a lot of people would disagree with what we think. You know what I'm saying? We're on a different spectrum on that. But so we never wanted to make this about politics. We just wanted to tell his story. And we have opinions about that, which we expressed during the interview. And I think that it is a very polarizing topic. I can understand how people get upset or agree with these very strongly and stuff. But I'm glad we did it. I think it's an awesome interview. I think it's awesome people are allowed to have different opinions, man, regardless of what you think. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
People can say it's this reason or that reason. Well, I have opinions that I feel like should be just as supported, you know what I'm saying? And it like, for example, I don't give a shit. Like, they say, a lot of people will say it's like science and all this stuff like that. Well, science shows you that, just basic knowledge shows you that, the United States military is the biggest polluter in the world. So, you know what I'm saying? So
nobody wants to talk about science in that case, though.
Yeah. No, they don't care then. But anyways, it's a very polarizing topic and we're not going to spend too much time talking about politics ever. You know what I mean? That's not what we're here for. But I applaud Stockton for coming on our show. He's an awesome dude, man. The best point guard of all time. I don't give a damn what you say.
No question.
And the dude could care less. I'll tell you that right now. Tell you whatever you have bad to say about it. Dude's off social media. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't play. I don't even know if the dude has a TV. So
he's off social media and has a flip phone. That was fun to learn about. I like that, man. He's one of a kind, man.
He is one of a kind. He's awesome, man. Awesome guy. Also, to hear the story about Michael Jordan too, man. Here's a guy. He said in the interview, he said he considers Michael Jordan a friend, and when he initially was a little reluctant or expressed some reticence in terms of doing the Last Dance documentary, participating in that, he said why, and he was very candid, man. He's a very, you get what you see type of guy, man.
Yeah. There's no sugarcoating it with John. He'll tell you exactly what he thinks, which was what makes him a great podcast guest. And he doesn't do a lot of interviews. You brought up the Last Dance. That Last Dance director said it took him 2 years to track John Stockton down. Jim Rome said it took him over a decade to get him on his show.
One of my favorite sports guys of all time, Jim Rome, took him 10 years.
Yeah, and so John doesn't do a lot of interviews.
I'm going to start drunk texting John Stockton. Well, I'm going to do. Just get high or something like that. Just watch some old YouTube clips like Johnny.
Not recommended.
Yeah, you remember that one game against the Supersonics? He's like, who the hell is this? And why are you texting me at 3 a.m? I'm like, don't worry about it, John. We're buddies now, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, goodness. And you know what? He's funny too. He's not known as like a comedian like you are, right? But he's got like a dry sense of humor. Yeah. Like when in our August interview with him, he was cracking those jokes and saying, giving you shit about your short shorts. And, like that. Yeah, that joke might have been told chuckled a few times in the minivan when he dropped that line on us. He's a funny dude, man.
Yeah, dude. No, he is, man. I'm looking forward to next time we have him on the show, man. I should have done this last time, but we were short on time. But I'm going to ask him, can I get in some pickup games with him? I'm going to fly up to Spokane just to play in some pickup games, do a little Stockton to Fisher action. You know what I mean?
That'd be pretty rough.
That'd be, dude, I still got game. You know what I'm saying?
Allegedly. There's no proof of this. Zach Banner came on our show, Chad, and said, I'm down. Send me some tape. And the tape doesn't exist.
I'm a dad. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, one excuse after another, man.
Dog, we can do this anytime. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is you want to do, but you can find me down at Dick Nichols Park on Saturday mornings once every 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I'll mess around when I get down there.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
should we start talking about this college football slate?
Yeah, man. We got the bowl season is always awesome because I love how it wraps up the season so perfectly, and you get to find out so much about all these teams at the end of the season. Because think about what I like to think about. A lot of times people are like, "Oh, it's bowl games. These games are meaningless and stuff." But the way I look at these games is, at the beginning of the season, if you had told me, "Hey, Penn State's going to play Arkansas," I'd be like, "Dude, I want to see that game. I want to see how those teams stack up." You know what I'm saying? Or Oklahoma State's going to play Notre Dame. Oh, I wonder who would win in that game. You know what I'm saying? You're going to find out a lot about these teams in these bowl games. And that's what I love. It kind of puts a bow on the season. You find out which conferences were the best, which conferences, were underrated or overrated, and a lot of times it's the SEC that's overrated. They haven't done so well.
Good point.
And so there's going to be some good matchups here. Speaking of which, one of which is Penn State versus Arkansas. Penn State is a 2-point favorite, 2.5 some places. I think that's going to be a good game. I think Penn State, Sean Clifford's going to be healty finally. Yeah. He's gotten a week or a month off to kind of heal. He's coming back for his 7th year next year, he just announced. But Arkansas, they've been kind of an enigmatic team all season. This is in the Outback Bowl. And, some weeks they started off extremely hot, looked like a top 10 team almost, and then kind of fizzled out. Wasn't so great. Kind of mediocre run of the pack type team and shit. Yeah. But it's going to be in the Outback Bowl. It's going to be a good game, I think, man. It's on
what's the point spread?
Anywhere from 2 to 2.5 Penn State.
So you're looking at this point spread on oddshark.com. Chad, you want to take a minute to tell folks about
it? Yeah,
Oddshark?
Dude. Oddshark is where we use is a resource that we use to get all of our lines, to get all the numbers that we use for the show. The great thing about Oddshark is that it gives you lines from 8, 9 different sites.
Yeah.
All right there in front of you. You don't have to go search and go, oh, let me go back to this site. Oh, no, it's like a
so
spreadsheet.
You can shop around for the best number, and it's absolutely free. Yeah. And so this isn't some sites have subscription services where you got to pay for this.
Yeah.
This information's out there, and especially for the NFL and college football, you can watch these lines move, and Oddshark will actually educate you about why the lines are moving during the week. They have great articles that are written. So if you put in a big bet, it kind of feels good sometimes to read someone else's article and be like, all right, this expert saw things the way I do.
Yeah.
Or you put in a big bet and someone's giving you something to consider that you hadn't thought about, and then you may want to hedge at that point. But Oddshark is a great resource.
Yeah, man. And like I'm saying, we're on their website, every show. They've got 7 sites, and they tell you the opening line. They got the money lines, point spread, over, under, all that stuff. And so you get to see all of it right in front of you, and you might say, hey, betting site X has this number, but then you look over at the other one, it's 2.5. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a great resource, man, because that's very important when you're talking about some of these games. Like you said, 50% of games are won by 3 points. 15%.
Yep.
15% are won by 3 points.
Yep.
And so these are important numbers. A half a point, 2.5 and 3 is a big difference.
Absolutely.
So that's how you want to go to Oddshark. It's oddshark.com, ODDSSHARK.com. That's where we're going to be pulling all the numbers from here. Another interesting game is going to be in the Fiesta Bowl, Oklahoma State and Notre Dame. Dude, this is a game that, potential 2 playoff teams. Oklahoma State was maybe, a lot of people think maybe a half a yard or a foot away from being in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Last second, 4th down call, barely missed a touchdown on the left. They were that close. They could have probably, they probably would have been in over Cincinnati had they won that game.
What's the point spread there, and who do you like?
2.5 to 2. And in that game, I actually do like Oklahoma State.
Who's favored?
Notre Dame is favored, 2.5.
Notre Dame's okay.
Yeah.
They're laying 2.5. Okay.
Yeah. And so also Notre Dame has a new coach. Obviously, they're going to be juiced up. Supposedly all the players like him a lot. But we're going to see, he's a kind of a defensive guy. He was a defensive coordinator at Cincinnati, used to play at Ohio State, Marcus Freeman. and we're going to see what their offense looks like. They're going to have the same offensive coordinator. Tommy Rees is still there, but we'll see. It's a totally different leadership. Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy, there's some rumors that he was looking out for another job and stuff like that. Did you hear about this?
No.
He was supposedly, his agent emailed Florida and was just straight up like, dude, how we email guests, basically. You know what I mean? Like when I'm trying to get a guest on the show, I'm just emailing them or their people and like, hey, can we get X, Y? This is what we've done. He did the same thing. He's recapping his record. Like they can't just go get this information. He's he's 45 and whatever, he's done. He thinks it's time to move on. And he would leave it's his alma mater, Oklahoma State.
Dang.
And he would leave there in a heartbeat.
That reeks of desperateness.
Yeah. Despite all that, man, I'm still going. I don't think Notre Dame's that good. Oklahoma State there.
I tend to like those 2.5-point dogs getting 6 points on a teaser because then you can go through the 3 and the 7. And so I think that's something to consider, maybe a cross-sport teaser. When we get into the NFL bets, there's one teaser play I love this week. And so we'll get to that in a minute.
Another game, I guess the last game we'll do here is a very interesting game. The Rose Bowl, Utah and Ohio State. Ohio State's favored from anywhere from 6.5 to 6. 6.5 pretty much all across the board. Opened at 9.5. I haven't heard anything about Ohio State players not playing in the games or whatnot.
It's going to come out.
But I'm sure there's going to be a couple. They've got they've got 2 first-round picks, wide receivers.
Yeah.
Their quarterback is just a redshirt freshman. He can't go, but we'll see, man. So Ohio State is a 6.5-point favorite. I would take Utah here.
No shit.
So this is the type of. So a lot of people will say why. I'd actually even put some. I'd actually put some money down on the money line for Utah here because Utah is the same type is a very similar team to Michigan in terms of very tough defensively, physical. They're going to run the ball. That's not a team. Ohio State is a soft team. They are a run and gun type team, finesse team. Yeah, and a lot of Michigan players said that after the game, and I think the footage from going into the locker room shows all that.
Yeah,
I think if you come out and punch Ohio State in the mouth, if you're physical with them, they're going to cower. And so this is a team that I don't think they want to see Utah. Utah's been playing really well as of late. And so it's a physical team. It's in the Rose Bowl. This is going to be Utah's Super Bowl. They're not. I think this is their first trip to the Rose Bowl, first or second. And so it's going to be very big for them. Ohio State probably is like a lot of those guys trying to protect their draft status or looking towards next year. But I'm going to take Utah here over Ohio State.
Yeah, I don't dispute that. If I had to put money on it, I think I'd go the way you just described. But let me throw a little devil's advocate argument. Because people, yourself included, are calling them soft, they hear that. And can they not be motivated to say, people are calling you soft. This team is planning on pushing you around. They're going to run the ball down our throats. You guys need to show that you aren't a finesse team, that you are tough and prove people wrong. Almost a bulletin board material type scenario where they can use what people are saying as fuel. It sounds like you just don't think they have it in them, even with that added motivation.
So that's what I would argue is that if you can't get up for the Michigan game, then,
good
you know
point.
what I'm saying? Then then you can't get up for it. You're not going to get up for Utah. You know what I'm saying? In the last game of the season when you're not winning a national championship or the Big Ten,
right?
And you got trounced by Michigan. I would say this, that obviously Utah is not Michigan. You know what I mean? They're not going to have the same athletes and the same physicality that Michigan had, the same, offensive line and everything. Michigan had one of the best offensive lines in their history this year. One of the top, I would say, I'd put them in the top 3 offensive lines I've ever seen at Michigan. I've been watching games since, early 90s.
Sure.
So now Utah's not Michigan. They might not be as physical. They might not be as talented and everything like that. But I still think they're not going to win by 2 touchdowns like Michigan did. But I think they're going to win.
Nice. All right. So, little money line sprinkle, maybe in a parlay, maybe by itself.
Dude, I think that would be really smart actually. Do the line and the money line.
I like it, man. Good shit. Want to move on to the NFL?
Yes, go ahead, man. Let's do it. We got an awesome week this week, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Starting with a good Thursday night game. We got a divisional matchup here. Chargers at home against Kansas City. They're getting 4 points, 3.5 in some places. Once again, this is why you got to shop around and check out OddsShark. Obviously, if you like the Chargers, grab that 4. If you like Kansas City, grab that 3.5. You know what I'm looking at here, Chad? I'm looking at the over.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I look here and I see the totals 51.5, 52 in some places, I think this number is going to go up. We're in LA, so I don't think we have to worry about any crazy weather. Keep an eye on the wind. But I'm going to go over here, man. We've got the Chargers defense, which is terrible. But their offense is really good. They're just the ideal over team. Yeah. And then you throw in there Kansas City, whose offense is really good as well. Really, really good. And I think they're clicking now finally. I like the over. If I had to bet somebody on that 4-point spread, I'd take the Chargers here, just with the divisional familiarity. Yeah. Chargers beat them earlier this year, and they're probably going to be a little hungrier than Kansas City in this game too, fighting and clawing for a playoff spot.
Yeah, so Kansas City comes in at 9-4. This is for first place in the division, man.
Dang.
So yeah. So LA comes in at 8-5. Dang. Dude, the money line is pretty interesting on this too. 165 to 175 for the Chargers.
That 175 plus. Sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah, that sounds nice as hell, dude. I would take that for sure. Yeah, I'm with you on the over-under, man. I can't believe it's kind of like so low. Actually, it was 51.5, 52. Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's I can't believe that's so low. I know Kansas City's defense has actually been playing well, and we talked about a couple of weeks on the show that a lot of that was against terrible offenses, but they've actually played some good teams lately and look pretty good. Yeah. But yeah, I'm with you on the over-under, man. I would take that. But if I'm taking the spread, I'm taking Chargers in those 4 points, man.
Cool. Sounds like we're on the same page there.
Support for the DNP-CD Sports Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. I love Manscaped, man. They just launched a Lawnmower 4.0. The next generation of trimmer. We were one of the first people to be able to try this out, and it blew me away, dude. It was the best because I wasn't getting a bunch of nicks and cuts, having to put Band-Aids on my balls and stuff, you know what I'm saying? It was great.
It's awesome. It's got a headlight on it. It's waterproof, so you can just use it in the shower, easy cleanup. They come with some mats you can get so that, all the hair falls on the floor. You can just dispose of it real quickly, disposable mats. It's a great product, and the holidays are coming up, so you can get 20% off.
20% off.
20% off.
Yeah,
with our promo
free
code.
Worldwide shipping when you you enter the code DNP. That's did not play at manscaped.com. It's awesome, man. I love this thing. We got to try it out. Like you said, the mats, dude. They've got so many other things too besides just
the ball deodorant.
Yeah, the ball deodorant.
Ball toner. I didn't know I needed ball toner until I got ball toner.
Yeah, man. The ball deodorant is the shit, dude.
Yeah,
I love that stuff, man. It's it makes my balls smell like they hang out at like hotel lobby bars and stuff, like nice hotel like
with their pinkies out while they're drinking.
It makes my balls smell like they drink tea and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's the best. I love it. Did I mention the wireless charging? New wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. I noticed that the battery lasts incredibly long, man. You don't have to charge it. You can use it many. Dog, you can go to town. You could probably shave a bear with this thing without having to recharge the battery.
And for some people, it is like shaving a bear. So,
that's gross. But men, if you've been shaving with the same nut trimmer on your face, that's disgusting. You've been doing it wrong. No person wants to end up with pubes in their mouth. That's not getting paid for it.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? Unless you're getting paid for that, no one's going to want to do that. I mean, you could pay me enough, and I'll.
Yeah, after the show, we'll have to talk about what your price is. I'm
Dude,
curious.
That's fucking gross. Yeah. But make sure you go to manscaped.com. You're going to get 20% off and free worldwide shipping when you enter the code DNP at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you.
Moving on to a Saturday. We got 2 Saturday games, which is kind of nice, man. Our first Saturday games of the year.
This is the best. We got 3 weeks of Saturday games?
Yeah.
Or 2?
3, I think.
Dude,
I believe.
Because it used to only be 2.
Yeah.
Now with the extra week, dude, that'd be awesome. Hell yeah.
It's awesome. First one, we got your Cleveland Browns at home laying 6 points or 5.5 to the Raiders.
Yeah, that's a large spread, man. It really is.
Yeah, 6 points.
What's the total on this? 41.5. I'd actually take the under on that, man.
I was
42.
leaning under. I
would say under on that. Yeah,
what did you think of the Browns last week?
They jumped out well. You know what I mean? They looked pretty good. One of the best games of the season, actually. Lamar Jackson didn't finish the game, but he wasn't looking too hot in the first quarter anyways. And it probably actually ended up helping them a little bit because he hasn't looked great in the last few weeks. But, yeah, dude, it was probably the most impressive win of the season. You know, I'll say that. They're sticking around, man. They're staying in the playoff hunt. This is a very winnable game. Las Vegas might be one of the worst teams in the league right now just because the demeanor on that team, the morale of that team just seems at an all-time low for a team I've seen in many years. I can't remember a team in the last few years that's been like this low, other than the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's the only team. But 6.5, it seems high, but at the same time, dude, is that what it is? 6.5?
5.5 or 6.
5.5 or 6. Yeah. It seems high. I would grab that 5.5.
Or the 6, you mean?
I'm sorry, the 6
with Vegas.
But yeah, no, I'm saying with Cleveland.
Oh,
5.5
to cover. Got it.
Yeah. So the Raiders are just that bad. You know what I mean? I don't think the Browns are necessarily that great, but I still think they can win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I still have a little bit of PTSD whenever anybody brings up the Raiders because they broke my heart on Thanksgiving.
Those bastards.
That
was our last good game of the year, too.
Exactly. So disgusting.
Jesus.
Next up, I think this is the most interesting line move of the week. And this might be one of the most interesting line moves of the year. So listen up here. Patriots right now are 2 or 2.5 point underdogs on the road to Indianapolis on Saturday. Colts are coming off a bye. Patriots opened as a 2.5 point favorite, folks, and now they're 2.5 point dogs. The public was betting on the Patriots. Mm-hmm. Public's all over the Patriots, yet the line moves 4.5 points through the fucking zero. On the other side, there is massive sharp money on the Colts here.
That's
massive
weird,
sharp money on the Colts.
That's crazy.
So kind of like a little bit of educational session here. The sharp bettors tend to bet more early in the week, right? When the lines first come out, right? Because they've got their own lines. They think the line should be 4. Mm-hmm. And if it comes out 6, they're going to hammer it, right? And the public tends to bet later in the week. So this line moving when we know the public is on the Patriots, no doubt about it. We can see that in the numbers. And yet it goes through the zero. Man, this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
It would suggest that the Colts are going to win this game if you're on the sharp better side. This is going to be a pros versus Joes type game. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you this though, despite that, I still love the Patriots. This is my teaser of the week. Patriots from 2.5 up to 8.5.
Oh wow.
Patriots getting 8.5 points against the Colts. Love it. Love it. They might be the hottest team in football, and you're going to give me 8.5 points?
I can't believe that.
You're going to give me like 8 on a teaser, 8.5 points with Bill Belichick. I know it's on the road.
Yeah.
But come on. Wow. I love that. I love that one.
Yeah, dude, that's a tough game. I'm still taking New England, man. I still think they're like one of the best teams in the NFL right now.
Yeah, you're going to be on the public side, which is generally not where you want to be, but the public does get their wins. It happens.
Yeah.
For sure. So,
excuse me, Indianapolis is 7-6, sitting in that 6th spot right now.
Hungry.
Yeah,
hungry
and
team.
they're a good team, man. They're one of the, the better 7-6 teams I've seen in a while.
Way better than their record shows.
And I doubt they're going to be a 6th seed when this is all said and done, man. I don't know what the rest of their schedule's like, but they're a tough team, man. I would not want to play them in the playoffs, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think they're better than the Titans right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, So I would still take New England with the 2 points, 2.5.
Another thing to look at, the over under, the total here is 46 you can find. I'm on OddsShark. I can see some 45s and a half. Both of these teams have hit the under more than they've hit the over this year. So something to consider there as well.
Yeah, and then we move on to the Sunday matchup.
Yeah.
Matchups. We got Jets and Dolphins. Dolphins are getting a 8.5. 8.5.
Opened at 7.
Yeah.
And so this has been bet up to 8.5. Man, if you could have got that 7 earlier and teased that down to 1, that would have been pretty sweet. Still not a bad teaser spot to bring Miami down to 2.5, get it under the 3. That's the strategy we used last week to hit that big teaser. So I'm going to put that up as a teaser option as well. If I've got to bet the spread here, I'm going to go Miami to cover. I don't generally love taking teams to cover by more than 7 points, but I think the Jets are that bad, and I'm comfortable.
Yeah, they are
Miami
that bad, dude. And Miami's still got an outside hope of getting in the playoffs. Jets season has been over.
How can you feel comfortable going up to the betting window and betting on the Jets?
Yeah, you can't, man.
How does that feel good? Or to click that button if you're betting online and be like, Jets, yes. Like that just doesn't
Unless you're
feel
just
good.
trying to get some money. You know what I mean? You're just like, fuck it. Let's
you just don't care about it. You're just like burning money.
Yeah.
Yeah, then take the Jets there.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Washington 5-point underdogs, 4.5 in some places. At Philadelphia. What do you think about this little divisional matchup?
Dude, this is a weird game. Who knows what the hell can happen here,
Washington was, up until last week, they were looking pretty hot.
Yeah.
Heineke was looking good. He looked terrible, especially in the first half last week. It's funny how Washington started playing better when their 2 best defensive players, definitely defensive linemen, got hurt. Jonathan Allen is still playing well, though. Yeah, I don't think I can't touch this one, man. If I had to,
Yeah,
give me Washington with the 4.5 points. I do like divisional dogs. This fits that system that I mentioned earlier this year that's hit 70% plus when you've got a road dog 7 points or less. So yeah, I'll lean Washington here if I had to.
You know who's probably looking at this game that's pretty interested in it is Tampa Bay fans, man. Because I don't think they want to play Washington. Right now they're sitting in that 2 spot. Green Bay looks good as all hell. I don't know if anyone's going to take, even though they do have identical records at the moment.
You think Washington will be a tough matchup for Tampa?
Yeah, and they have been. You know what I mean? They got beat by them this year.
Yeah.
Remember last year in the playoffs, it was one of the.
Damn, I forgot about that. Good call.
Yeah, and so I don't think Washington. I don't think Tampa Bay wants to see Washington again in the playoffs. And so they're probably going to. If I was them, I'd be rooting for the Eagles here, man. I think that's a way better matchup for them. But if Washington wins this game, they'll be at 500. Whoever wins this game is going to be at 500 and then be in that 7 spot in the playoff hunt. Yeah, dude, I don't want to touch this game. These teams are way too similar to me. I have no idea which one of them is going to show up for either side. I think Philadelphia getting 5 is a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For them to cover by 5, they're favored by 5. I think that's a lot, but who the hell knows, man?
Yeah, and
I wouldn't touch this, but if I had to, I would take Washington there.
Yeah, I'm looking at the weather here. It looks like 11 mile per hour winds as of right now. That could change a little bit, so keep an eye on that before kickoff. 11's not too much to worry about. Kind of 15 miles per hour is where we tend to say it impacts the point spread. But really, this is the time of year, man. I've said it before in this show, and I'm going to keep saying it because it's too important. You got to keep an eye on the weather, and especially the wind late in the year. You get a fucking snowstorm like we saw on Monday night a couple weeks ago. Hey, man.
Tony Weatherman.
I'll take another nickname. I like it. And speaking of weather, you always got to worry about it in Buffalo, and that's our next game.
Yeah.
Carolina at Buffalo. Buffalo's a 10 or 10.5 point favorite here. This is definitely one of those opportunities where you can buy low on Carolina if you want here. 10.5 points.
It's a lot, man. And Buffalo's not that good, dude. They're 7-6 right now. They're sitting at the 7th seed. And I know that they're at home, but
yeah,
dog, that's a big ass spread. They're acting like these guys are like the team from last year or something.
Yeah, I actually see an 11. I'm gonna take Carolina plus 11 here and grab those points.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah, I can think they can keep it within 11. But then who knows, man? Watch. Also, Josh Allen's been a little hampered, right?
Yeah,
he's been dinged up a little bit. I mean, everybody is at this time of year, but that's something to keep an eye on. But 10.5, 11, that's too high, man. I'm going to go Carolina there.
Yeah, before we go on to the rest of these games, Chad, I got to throw a little disclaimer out there. So the illness that we're not allowed to say on this show, the C word, has ravaged some teams. There's over 30 players in the NFL this week who have already tested positive for that illness. And so before you put your bets in, you got to look at who's active, who's not, who's playing.
Hey, man, it works. It works just fine. It works just fine. Hey, don't worry about how many people are missing games. It works just fine, we said.
Yeah,
okay?
If they didn't get it, they'd be hospitalized. These athletes would all be hospitalized.
Yeah.
Anyways,
all these well-shaped fucking Adonises, these poor guys. Yeah.
Oh goodness. So definitely keep an eye on the news and see who's out, and then always consider who their backup is. So if you see someone's on that illness list, left tackle, for instance, who's their backup? Is it a rookie 7th round pick who's never made a start before? Or is it someone who's, in their 8th year, they're a veteran and they've started 30 games? That's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
So keep an eye on that. Next up, we've got Dallas, 10.5 point favorites at the Giants.
It's a big game, man. I know it's not for New York, but it is for Dallas, man.
Yeah, they need it.
Dallas, what's crazy is Dallas is giving away a game or two, and they're sitting at 9-4.
Yeah.
4th in the NFC. This is a big game for them, man. New York obviously is a terrible team. They're 4-9. I'm taking Dallas here, despite the fact that is that New York, right? Yeah, is that New York? But hold on a second. 10.5, that's way too high. Fuck that. No, I'm
whoa.
But I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to mess with this point spread because New York is so damn terrible, but it is a divisional matchup. Dallas hasn't been playing great. Jerry Jones said, I believe, that he thinks that Dak's going through a slump.
Yeah.
Which shut the hell up, Jerry. What are you talking about? You're going through a slump, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't say that. What the hell's wrong with this dude?
These two teams have historically played each other really close.
Yeah. At 10.5 is a lot. That's what I'm saying. I think New York is going to keep that within 11 points.
Yeah, as we said, you got to keep an eye on, the illness list. So Kadarius Toney, who's one of the Giants' best receivers, he was placed on the illness list. Tyron Smith has been ruled out, Cowboys offensive lineman, and Cedric Wilson, their wide receiver, has been added to the illness list as well. So I know I keep repeating myself, but you got to keep an eye on these things. It sucks to put a bet in, feel good about a bet, and see there were 3 or 4 guys got an illness 2 days before the game, and guys that you thought were going to be playing aren't. So usually I advocate putting your bets in earlier in the week before the lines really start to move. This week, because of all these illnesses, which tend to sprout more illnesses, I would say putting your bets in later in the week is probably a much safer bet. So keep that in mind. In terms of this game itself, Chad, if I had to, I'd take Dallas to cover here. You know, Daniel Jones is out. The reports now are saying he might be done for the year.
Yeah.
Mike Glennon is a tool, and I just got no respect for that guy on the football field. And so, yeah.
What did he do?
He's just not good.
Yeah.
He just doesn't look good when he plays.
I thought he was like kicking babies or something.
Oh no, nothing off the field. That's why I said on the field. Like on the field.
He's a tool. What did you say? I got no respect.
Well, I mean, he got that big contract.
He's and he owes me money. This motherfucker. You better start returning my calls.
I feel like sometimes people, I swear to God, Chad, you might disagree with me. I think sometimes people get contracts based on how they look. Mike Glennon is a tall white quarterback who attractive. Just looking at him, you're like, all right, that looks like a quarterback.
Yeah.
And he got this like multi-million-dollar deal several years ago, and he didn't deserve it, and it was proven to be true.
So what you're saying is that the general manager wanted to fuck him, and that's how he got all this money. That's what you're saying?
That's an unsubstantiated rumor.
Mike Glennon? This is so we're talking about what's his name? The general manager for New York for the Giants. What's his name?
Oh, Gettleman?
Dave Gettleman?
Yeah. No, this is a different contract. This
okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because he said some really, like, you know, some weird shit in the past. Remember?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Who was he talking about? Daniel Jones. Yeah. And he's like, it's like love or love.
Oh, really?
I'm in love. Something like that. Yeah, dude.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. That's probably why he's still on the team. He's like, nah, man, he's great. You know, I love talking to him in the shower. You know, I love helping him put his clothes on. You're like, what the hell, dude? What are you talking about?
We'll have to Google Dave Gettleman love quotes.
Yeah. Creepy shit. Just Google that, dude. Yeah.
Specifically about Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
Right,
dude, definitely. Yeah,
I'll have to check that out. Anyways, next up, we've got Houston at Jacksonville. We just spent the first half of the show railing on Jacksonville. I'm going to go ahead and take Houston getting plus 3.5. Give me that hook all day long. These two teams did play week 1. Don't forget that.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacksonville was the favorite, and Houston upset them. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take Houston plus 3.5 here.
This is like it's bowl season for college football. This is the Dookie Bowl.
Yeah,
that's what this is. Teams are both 2-11. They've been eliminated. It's a shame that either of these teams are going to get a win, to be honest.
You know, honestly, it might come down to who's tanking more.
Yeah, probably the two. Yeah, and the two worst coaches in the NFL too, probably.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer definitely is. I mean, definitely. Just like his demeanor is terrible.
Yeah.
And his grind game is weak as hell. Really weird. How you talking to somebody while you're like touching on some girl? That's the weirdest thing ever. And not only that, the dude that he's talking to, shame on you. What the hell's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? If you're at a bar and your friend's talking to you and he's like banging some girl beside you, I'm like, dog, I'm not like, this is like borderline creepy. Not borderline, this is straight up finger banging some girl while, you know what I'm saying, I'm talking to you. That's just like some weird voyeur shit.
Dude,
you know
different people are into different things, man.
Yeah.
Who knows what that guy's flavor is?
Yeah, I'm taking Houston.
All right, yeah, same here, man. And I like it a lot. I'd say this would be like my top 5 picks of the week. I like here. Houston plus 3.5 for sure. Next up, we've got Tennessee at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's in a beautiful teaser spot here. 1.5 point dog and 2.5 point dogs. Give me that 2.5. Add 6 to it, pair it with the Patriots, and you got your teaser of the week, folks. Steelers 6-point teaser, Patriots 6-point teaser. Lock it up. I like it. In terms of the game itself, this is going to be an interesting one, Chad. I can't touch that point spread without teasing it. I just can't do it. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean Pittsburgh 1.5. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, or 2.5.
Because I was looking up Dave Gettleman quotes while you're talking about that. I didn't know what game we were talking about. He said we were in full bloom love. That's what he said.
Oh my, that is awkward.
Yeah, that's weird as hell. And the way he said it too was kind of creepy too. He's kind of like like dog. You need to stop.
And those quotes, I mean, they look bad now that Daniel Jones is struggling, can't stay healthy, etc. So the dude that you're in love with and the dude that you drafted is not
He's like, but look, we got the most attractive quarterbacks in the league. Who wouldn't want to shack up with these guys? Pittsburgh 1.5 to 2.5, dude. That's a huge difference, man.
Yeah,
1.5 to 2.5 in some sites. Dude, I'm taking Tennessee. Pittsburgh is not. I don't think Pittsburgh is a very good team, and I think Tennessee, despite all the injuries they've had, I think Julio Jones is expected to be back soon.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he's had a great year. I don't even think he has a touchdown this year.
Yeah, he's an upgrade over what they got.
Whatever they have, So I'm still taking Tennessee here on the road at Pittsburgh, 1.5 point favorites. I would grab that instead of the 2.5, obviously. But Right.
Next up, we got Arizona on the road, 13 or 13.5 point favorites against Detroit. Give me Arizona all day, guys.
Yeah.
Detroit is just listless. Arizona is coming off a short week against that loss to the Rams. I think they're going to want to get that taste out of their mouth. I mean, this is the kind of game that could get out of hand in the first half. This is maybe the best team in the NFL against maybe the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah, and they're going to show that on Sunday, man. But 13.5. 13, obviously trying to get that. But yeah, I would take that 13 all day long.
Yeah, and this is the kind of point spread that could end at like 14.5. So if you agree with us, and you like Arizona,
jump on
grab that 13
it's already went
right
from
now.
12.5 to 13.5.
Yep, it's going to keep on going up for sure. Next, we've got Atlanta at San Francisco. Big game for the Falcons. Falcons are going to be hungry as hell in this game. 49ers are 9-point favorites or 8.5 point favorites, depending on where you look on oddshark.com. I like the 49ers tease down from 8.5 down to 2.5 here. Team is starting to get hot. They're off of a big overtime win against Cincinnati. I'll tell you what, Chad, people just can't stop Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, it's so fun to watch that guy run down the sideline on those jet sweeps and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what it kind of reminds me of a little bit? You know that game Wipeout?
Yeah.
Where the guys are like kind of tightrope walking and people are like throwing shit at them and stuff like that. And they just like bounce off into the water and shit. Deebo, you can throw, he'd be the best at Wipeout. You can throw whatever you want at that guy. He's getting like hammered as he goes down the sideline, but he keeps his balance. This guy's got so much, like such a good center of gravity. It's incredible. But anyways,
he's a one-of-a-kind player, man. That's for sure.
He sure is, man.
But 9, it's 8.5 to 9. That's like too much for me, man. I think Atlanta's a better team than that. I think that San Francisco's going to win, but I think it's going to be like 3 to 6 or something.
Yeah, so you like that teaser option too?
Yeah,
8.5 down to 2.5.
Yeah,
Get
definitely.
it under 3. Keep in mind too, San Francisco's not a good home team. You get excited. You're like, oh, this game's at home. Atlanta's got to fly across the country. Yeah, well, the 49ers have done really terrible in spots like this earlier this year. And really the last 2 years, they're just not a good home team.
And like you said, Atlanta's going to be hungry. They're 6-7. If they win this game, they get to 500. They can catapult themselves up into the lower part of the playoff race, which would be one of the most that would be crazy, dude. I mean, say what you want about Atlanta. They had the number 4 pick in the draft last year. And if they were to win this game, they're right in the thick of the playoff hunt. You know what I mean? So I think they've gotten a little bit better, although they are in a very, weak division, obviously, but still.
Yeah, and if Atlanta does sneak into the playoffs, I got to go back and look at all our tape because on some episode, probably like week 4 or 5 or some shit, I was like, keep an eye on Atlanta. They're getting hot.
Yeah.
And so,
I never said that.
I said it might be a good opportunity to put a little playoff bet or even a Super Bowl bet on them. So
I'm about Super Bowl, but
they might sneak in, man. They might sneak in. We'll see.
It's a Super Bowl?
I'm not. Don't take me out of context. Don't take me out of context like the mainstream press, Chad.
Hey, so you said that you hate every other team in the NFL, and you think Atlanta's the best team and they're going to win the Super Bowl.
I don't like mayonnaise, so I'm anti-food automatically.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, dude. Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
We're talking in code right now, and I'm sure some people are getting this joke right now that we get censored and taken out of context whenever we talk about certain subjects on this show.
Yeah.
But anyways. Go ahead. No, you're good.
I'm done.
What I was going to say is when I put these future bets on, like a team like that, like Atlanta to sneak in the playoffs, it's fully with the intention to hedge on a Super Bowl bet. Like I do not think the Falcons are going to win the Super Bowl. Absolutely not. Of course, right? But if you can get in the playoffs and then bet against them in the first round on a fucking $50 bet, you can bet a couple $100 on the other side. You can make money that way. So I like futures bets in that situation for sure. I'm looking up the Niners 2020 schedule because the Falcons upset them. I don't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago, late in the season, and played them really, really tough. This is also Kyle Shanahan going up against his old team too, by the way.
Yeah, this is a huge game for the Niners, obviously, as well, because they're at 7-6. They can kind of, I wouldn't say they're definitely not going to be cemented as a playoff team, but it definitely helps their case to be at 8-6 rather than 500. They get at 500, they're going to be with a slew of other teams, including possibly the Vikings, Eagles, Falcons, Saints even, so there's a lot of teams right there. So yeah, it's going to be a good game, an interesting game, dude.
Yeah, little 3-point. I'm growing the teasers now. I prefer 2-team teasers, but let's throw the Niners in this 3-pointer. So we got 49ers teased. We've got the Patriots teased. And then who was that third one that I liked, Chad? Oh, Pittsburgh. 49ers and Patriots in a little 3-team 6-point teaser. That'd be nice and juicy for sure. That'll pay about $100 to win you about $180 if all three of those come through. So.
Oh, wow. Hey, everybody, we're proud to announce that the DNP-CD Sports Podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp. That's BetterHelp.com. BetterHelp is awesome, dude, because this is the perfect time of year. It's, holiday season. A lot of people go through loss or experience loss or were reminded of loss, whether that's a loved one, a pet, you know what I'm saying?
Or a Vegas contest.
A Vegas contest.
Dude, for real, this is a real story, Chad. So I started using BetterHelp because every time, I turn on the TV, I see the Raiders, I see the Cowboys, and I'm reminded of this terrible gambling loss that I had.
Dude.
So I started using BetterHelp. I've had a couple sessions with them, and it was seriously super helpful, man. She walked me through how the loss that I was experiencing was actually somewhat similar psychologically, to the loss of a loved one, where you go through those stages of grief and stuff.
Yeah.
It's obviously, doesn't compare in the emotional sense of I'm not saying it's worse than that, but in terms of the grieving process is really similar. So it's super helpful, man. I'm digging my BetterHelp experience.
That's awesome, man. I was just gonna say
you got something to say over there.
That's so funny, man. People are like, I've lost my dad and my cat died and my life's just not the same. Tony's like, I lost a contest.
No, dude, I lost an opportunity at $6 million.
I know,
Let's
dude.
not make light of it.
I know, but what I'm saying though is you had to have gone into this thinking dude, there's a 1 in 7 billion chance I'm gonna win this.
1 in 4,080 chance.
But you still have to get all the games right. So that's even more. It's not just you against other people. It's about
Yeah.
So every week it's that at least. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyways, BetterHelp. Just if you're going through a loss like Tony, a uncontrollable, devastating loss like Tony has. You know what I mean?
Chad would not make a good psychologist, making light of other people's losses. This is
why you got to go to BetterHelp, dude.
I'm struggling with something right now. Chad's just that's not a big deal. You need to get over it.
I've been through worse, That's what my slogan would be. You know what I'm saying? If, I was a therapist or something, and I was just trying to get people out of this play.
Worst therapist ever.
Hey, I've been through worse. It could be worse, okay? But seriously, this is why you don't want to talk to me. This is why you got to go to BetterHelp and get some professional licensed therapy. This isn't self-help. It's not a crisis line or anything like that. It's professional therapy done securely online. And if you go to BetterHelp.com/DNP, you're going to get 10% off your first month of therapy, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. And you can do video chats with them. You can do phone chats. You can text them. You can text them 24 hours if you want, and they're going to respond pretty quickly, which is awesome.
Yeah. So make sure you go to BetterHelp.com/DNP. You're going to get 10% off your first month.
Next up, we got Cincinnati, 1.5-point dogs on the road at Denver. I always talk about it on this show. Denver is a really tough place to play. What do you think here, Chad?
Man, this is tough. This is another good-ass game, dude. There's a lot of really good games on the schedule, man, and this is where we're definitely going to start to see the separation. Cincinnati at Denver, man. These, I thought Denver was dead in the water. You know what I mean? I didn't think they were playing. I thought their season was pretty much over. They're still not, great, but they still 7-6, dude. That's nothing to sneeze at. They're with a slew of 3 other teams, and the Steelers who are at 6-6-1. Actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams at 7-6 in the AFC. So this is going to be huge game for Denver. Also, obviously, Cincinnati. Cincinnati, I believe, is one of those. Yeah, Cincinnati is 7-6 as well. So this is huge. Whoever wins this game is going to separate themselves big time, and also help knock one of those teams out. Cincinnati, dude. I still think they're a better team than what they've played.
Yeah,
I thought last week they just went up against a team that's really hot right now. That's playing really well, and still, man, this is a tough road game for them. But dude, I would take Cincinnati here in the 1.5.
Yeah, this is a great. I know I keep talking about teasers on this show, and people are probably sick of me talking about teasers, but that's where the money is, guys. That's why teasers have gone from minus 110 juice, and casinos are jacking them up because casinos are literally losing money on teasers. So I like Cincinnati teased here. Get it through the 3, get it through the 7, up to 7.5. I think this is going to be a 3-point game.
Yeah.
If you force me to pick, I'd probably take Cincinnati like you, Chad. But I'm not going to put my money down on that without teasing it.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Green Bay. This one opened
Another
at
good game.
a 2-point favorite.
Which
yeah,
is crazy,
for sure.
Dude. Oh, I guess with the Lamar Jackson news, but still, dude,
Yeah.
still shouldn't have been 2. It should have been 5 then, and it should be like 7 now.
Yeah, I agree. I'm surprised this isn't a little bit higher. It's at 4.5 in some places. Green Bay is a 5-point favorite in some places. Good point on the Lamar Jackson news. You're going to want to keep an eye on that all week. I'll tell you what, man, that Green Bay running game looks really good. I love A.J. Dillon. Remember we had a couple fantasy football experts on the season earlier in the show?
I've been familiar with A.J. Dillon for a long time, man, because he was actually signed to Michigan. He's a guy from the Massachusetts Pacific, or excuse me, not Pacific, the Northeast area. And he was a guy that was originally committed to Michigan, and I was really excited about getting him. I thought he was going to be a great addition to our backfield, and then last minute, I believe he ended up decommitting and staying at Boston College. So I've known about this dude for 5 or 6 years, or actually, 7 or 8 years now. I've always liked this guy, and I thought he was a steal in the draft when they got him. Green Bay is just, in my opinion, the best team. I feel like they toy with teams. You watched that game against the Bears the other night?
Yeah.
They were down, what was it, 24-14, I believe. It's just like they're just toying with them. And it's
like the Chiefs have been known to do.
Yeah. It feels like that's what the Packers were doing, was just like, we'll eventually get interested in this game and beat the shit out of you. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
Just shut them out, I believe, the rest of the way. And just looked damn good doing it. Aaron Rodgers can just make every throw. And the dude is doing this by throwing off his back foot a lot because he's got that pinky, that broken pinky toe. Can't put much weight on that. And he's still the best quarterback in the league, dude. I just would not bet up against Green Bay, dude. I actually think that this might be their year, man.
It could be. I mean, they're going to have to get through Tampa Bay in the NFC, and so that's always going to be tricky, but
they'll have
Packers
home field.
A home game.
They'll have home field advantage. And I know last year they did as well. And Tom Brady, I believe, threw 3 interceptions, and they still couldn't win that game, which is crazy. But it's going to be a great matchup. That's what everybody wants to see. That's what I want to see. Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Are you serious, dude? Yeah. Probably my 2 favorite quarterbacks of all time. Next with Brett Favre in there, But I would love to see that.
Here's what I want to see. I want to see a Tom Brady, Bill Belichick Super Bowl.
I don't.
Patriots versus the Bucks, and then Brady has to get through Jimmy Garoppolo in order for the right to be in that game. Maybe a first-round playoff game. The NFL playoffs are going to be so fun this year. But getting back to A.J. Dillon, I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with me here. After Derrick Henry, who's hurt right now, and after Jonathan Taylor, I'm going to take A.J. Dillon as the running back on my team that I want in the playoffs. He's not even the number 1 running back on his team. Aaron Jones is. But just the way he's a downhill runner, he is the guy you want when there's fucking snow on the field. Everybody knows you're going to be running the ball, and you just need 3 yards for the first down. Yep. He is the guy I want. I love me some A.J. Dillon. Yeah,
dude. I think he's a perfect back for the playoffs, too, and in that stadium. You know what I mean? 250 pounds. Like, dude.
Yeah. And he did it in the playoffs last year, so he's already shown it. I think he's going to be fun to watch this year.
As much as I love Tom Brady, I think Green Bay is my Super Bowl pick this year right now. Anyways, it's not saying much. It's like, dude, they're one of the best. They have like the best record in the NFL. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I think they're going to get over that hump. Aaron Rodgers hasn't won a Super Bowl in a long time. But 5 points, that's crazy, man. Or 4.5, I would jump on that all day long. I would take Green Bay. I think they're going to win this by 2 touchdowns at least.
I'm with you. You and I have talked about how Baltimore's kind of a paper tiger. I think Green Bay's gonna potentially blow them out in this game, maybe a double-digit win. Next up, we've got Seattle. Rams are playing their second straight divisional game. Rams are at home hosting Seattle as a 7-point favorite. Rams looked really good last week on Monday night against Arizona.
That was the biggest win of the season, man, for them. That was crazy.
Yeah, they came in as the dog, man. They were 3-point dogs, and they won by 7. So that was impressive. It made it a little interesting at the end, though, didn't they, with that little onside kick?
Yeah. Van Jefferson with of course, I'll root for that dude. I love his name, man. And actually, he was a guy that I wanted Michigan to get as well. He was initially at Ole Miss, I believe, when Hugh Freeze was there, who I'll just say it, man. We might actually get Hugh on the show at some point.
Nice.
At some point soon. He was at Ole Miss. Now he's at Liberty. I've been in contact with him in the last few weeks, and hopefully after bowl season, we're gonna have him on the show. But he was at Ole Miss, Van Jefferson, and then he once Hugh Freeze left, he transferred to Florida, and he was a guy that came on an official visit to Michigan. I wanted him big time and just loved his name, dude, of course. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. If you don't know, that's Chad's son's name.
Yeah, but this is before actually my son was born and everything. I've just always loved that name, obviously.
That's awesome.
But anyways, that receiving core, Van Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, as much as I don't care for him, that, I'm not a huge fan of him.
Touchdown Monday, yeah.
Yeah, he did. That's a dangerous team too, man. This is going to be such an awesome playoffs, dude. Yeah. There's so many good teams. And if LA plays like they did last night, who the hell knows, man?
Yeah.
You got the Cardinals, you got the Rams, you got the Buccaneers, you got the Packers. Like, this is one of the deepest. It's going to be fun. Tough, because you can see any of those 4 teams coming out of there.
Yeah. And only one of them is going to get a bye week.
And then at the same time, dude, there's a couple teams that if they got hot, you can see them coming out too. Yeah, Minnesota absolutely. Or someone like that. Sure, San Francisco absolutely. Even. You know what I'm saying? So, dude, it's going to be a great
Did you see that touchdown pass to Van Jefferson?
Yeah, it was unreal, dude. It came out of a cannon.
Dude,
it was like unreal.
When Russell Wilson throws a 50-yard touchdown, it tends to be like those high. And there's something to behold with that. That's fun to watch. This was a friggin' rocket.
Yeah. It was.
Oh, man. That was
I was like, where the hell is he throwing this? Is he trying to throw it away, like out of the stadium? It was in stride, perfect throw, like literally. It came out of a cannon, dude.
Gorgeous.
That was one of the prettiest throws I've seen all season long, dude.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, that was an amazing play too. But
but getting back to this game, Rams 7-point favorites.
Yeah, I'm taking LA, dude. I think that they're just playing really tough right now. They're going to be riding high after that big victory last week, and so I think they're going to want to establish themselves as one of the best teams. And I think they're starting to play a little bit better. I think they're going to beat the hell out of Seattle at home.
I agree. I'm going to make it a little easier, though, and tease that down to -1.
Yeah.
Give me a 6-point teaser. Then the Rams basically just have to win the game. Mm-hmm. You push if they win by exactly 1. I think they're going to win by way more than 1.
Yeah.
This is great teaser week. If you're better like me and you love teasers, and even if you don't, maybe you want to try it out this week because I'm telling you, it's a great formula.
I've never done it, man. I might have to jump on that.
Yeah, there's so many options this week, man, for sure. There's we've already gone over 4 or 5 on this show. So I've mentioned 4 or 5. You just take the 2 that you like best, put them together in a 6-point teaser. It's beautiful. Next up, we've got New Orleans, 10.5 or 11.5 or 11-point dogs at Tampa Bay. Now, keep in mind, New Orleans the last couple of years has always played Tampa Bay tough. I remember that Week 1 game when Jameis Winston was still playing for Tampa. New Orleans just plays them tough. Even when they're not supposed to win, they do. This is another one of those spots, but I just can't do it, Chad. New Orleans has just looked too bad the last couple of years.
Yeah, they have, man. I mean, even though they're 6-7 right now, they still have an outside chance at a playoff berth. Yeah. I still can't take them, man, with Tampa Bay at home. And I think this is the time of year when Tom Brady starts to turn it up another notch,
Yeah. And we're seeing that the last couple weeks.
Yeah, we are. And them as a defense as well is playing a lot better.
They're getting healthier, too. They're getting some cornerbacks back. That helps.
Yeah, and Antonio Brown should be back hopefully next week or the week after. I think he's definitely someone I know Bruce Arians has said, I don't know if we're going to let him back or whatever. But, dude, come on. It's Tom Brady's boy. They're just saying that to, deflect attention and shit.
Yeah.
He'll be back. I hope so. But yeah, I would grab that 10.5. I still think Tampa Bay is going to win this by 2 touchdowns. And I think that it's a Sunday night game. I think they're going to be juiced up. And I think Tom Brady is going to just continue to elevate his game at this point of the season, man.
I think that divisional familiarity and the fact that New Orleans has played Tampa tough is just going to keep me away from the game. I
probably wouldn't bet this. I'm just saying for our sake, for the show.
Sure. Yeah. I can't see a scenario where Tampa loses the game. I think they're going to cover, but I'm just not going to put my money on it because of that history there. Last up, we've got Monday night. The Vikings are 3.5-point favorites at Chicago. Chicago coming off that game, as you said, against Green Bay where they were toyed with. Minnesota's a 3.5-point favorite. I generally like conference or divisional teams getting the hook here, getting 3.5. At home for Chicago. I don't in this situation, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Vikings. I think the Vikings are underrated, and I think Chicago, even though they don't have a good record, I think they're still overrated considering what their record is. They've struggled with injuries all year. I like the Vikings here. The only little caveat I'm going to throw out there is Kirk Cousins does not play well. Look at his record ATS and straight up when he's playing in primetime games. And so this is a standalone game on Monday. He's historically terrible in these situations. I'm gonna still go with Kirk Cousins. He's having a great season statistically. Give me the Vikings -3.5 here.
Yeah, man. I think he is having a great year. I'm not a huge Kirk Cousins fan, but he's actually playing really well. And I still think that Minnesota's a dark horse team in the NFC, man.
That defense is better than people think.
Yeah,
man.
they are. And every game has been close,
quarterbacks.
dude. Every single game this year has been close for them.
Yeah.
And They're 6-7 right now. They're on the bubble. I hope anyways, they're going to at least be the 7th seed. I think that would be a great matchup with Arizona or Tampa Bay.
Sure.
Somewhere like that. Yeah, man, I'm taking Minnesota on the road here too. I think they're a way better team than Chicago. I think Chicago, they played well for about a half last week against Green Bay, and then they just don't have the horses, man. They got a lot of injuries, and I just feel like they got a lame duck coach who's not going to be there next year. And Chicago's never ever fired a coach mid-season, so he's going to finish the season. He's going to finish out the year.
He'll probably be the first coach fired.
Yeah, but he will be, come Monday morning, after the season's over, he'll be one of the first guys to be let go. Yeah, exactly, they need to, man. They got to change the identity there. That dude's a goofball.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm taking Minnesota on the road still.
Nice. We're on the same page there, man. It's going to be a fun week of football, dude.
There's so many good matchups.
As the playoffs are getting closer, man, it's just the intrigue, the plot thickens. I love this additional playoff team added as well because all these teams who historically you're like, oh, they don't have a chance, do. And all these games are now more meaningful.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think the NFL wanted, and that's what they've done. And I think that the NBA has done that too. When they added the play-in game, I think it's helped because instead of looking at the NBA, they need to reconfigure the lottery odds now too, because it's just still out of whack. I think that now when you add the 9 and 10 spots for the NBA playoffs, that de-incentivizes tanking. And there's a lot of teams. There's only right now, there's probably only 3 teams in each conference that are definitely not making the playoffs. But it incentivizes teams not to tank, because you could still be in the playoffs. And the same thing that's happening in the NFL right now is you've got a slew of teams that are still in the conversation to make the playoffs. And that's huge, man. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up tanking, because in this betting segment, I want to throw this out there, Chad. A great strategy to consider is those 2 or 3 teams that are definitely out of it, 100%. Consider money line parlays betting against those teams.
Yeah.
Package 2 or 3 of them in a parlay, bet on them to lose because they're tanking late in the season. That's a great strategy that's been lucrative for me in the past.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you look across the both leagues here, and there's 4 teams that have been eliminated. I mean, and I think you can go ahead and throw in the Bears and the Giants into that, and maybe even the Seahawks. But you've got, that being said, you've got Carolina Panthers at 5-8. If they were to win out and go 9-8, they still have an outside chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah.
So counting them, and then over in the AFC, I guess you could throw out the Raiders. I don't think that they're going to be there, but still, you got 24 teams that are still in the playoff picture, and it's just way more exciting, man. It's way more to play for. It makes these last 3 weeks fucking awesome.
Yeah, like you said, exactly what the NFL wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
Better ratings, more intrigue, more storylines. Yep.
Yeah, definitely, man. This is a great week, man. Starting Thursday, we got games Saturday. The only day of the week we don't have is Wednesday and Friday, man.
There's a lot of wives out there who are like, "What?
Yep.
There's football on Saturday?"
Oh, that's
now?
always hilarious. Oh, yeah, that's always hilarious because they never know either. They're always like, "What? So what days of the week aren't there football on?" I'm like, "Yeah, fucking February through goddamn September. That's when." It's hilarious that they say that. You just watch football. I'm like, dude, it's 17 weeks a year. It's not like there's 52 in a year. You know what I mean? It's not. Come on.
Every girl I date, if it's starting to get serious, I'm like, I just need you to understand that football is my priority.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, never get married.
Yeah, that's kind of the plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just throw that out there, and I'm like, yeah, these 18 weeks, it's real important to me. So
I hope we're friends forever, man, because I want to see you when you're like 67 and you're like in Vegas doing your yearly Vegas trip, and you're out there just like with an unlit cigar in your mouth because you just like the taste, and then and you're just sitting there going crazy over teasers still. If they're still even allowed, then
well, no, they'll be allowed, but they'll be like minus 150 juice.
Yeah. You're just gonna be sitting there railing to some young whippersnapper, like, back in my day, teasers used to be 120. That's when you could really make some money.
I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Dude, that's hilarious.
That's gonna be it.
I just want to watch you from afar, and you don't even know I'm there, and I'm just sitting there watching you.
Oh, now it just got creepy, bro.
No, I mean,
it just got weird.
Well, it got creepy that you're 67 talking to some young whippersnapper, probably with your fucking pants unbuttoned. This is your
story, man.
Well, I'm just telling you. Well, I'm telling you, this is probably what's going to happen.
This came out of your head.
Because it's probably going to happen.
Creepiness falls on your shoulders.
Because I can see the future, and I can just tell you're going to be in like Caesars. Is that your spot? Where's your spot?
No. I like the Westgate and Circa.
You'd be at the Westgate. They're like, "There's Tony. He's been coming here for fucking 55 years." Just drinking his gin and tonic.
You got to come out on a trip with me, man.
Yeah, man. Vegas is just like a little skeezy to me, though, dog.
Dude, we'll do it right. We'll do it right.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, it's a beautiful city, dude. Maybe I didn't go to the right places.
We'll do it right.
But I would love to, man.
Come out for a week one.
Yeah, maybe we'll see, man.
All right. That was a non-committal Chad Fisher.
That's I'm probably not going to do that shit, Chad Fisher.
I love it.
That'll never happen in my fucking lifetime, Chad Fisher. But yeah, we can talk about it some more if you want. This is an awesome show, man.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, you want to tell people about OddsShark before we take off?
Yeah, man. OddsShark is your number one destination for all these awesome numbers that we're getting here, man.
Yeah.
You know, this is where we get all the numbers. As you said, throughout every episode, throughout every line that we give you throughout every episode, we're telling you different numbers, a bunch of different numbers, and there's a big variation amongst sites.
Yeah, and we appreciate them. We were checking out OddsShark before this show even started. We've always been a big fan of them. We appreciate their support. When you're supporting them, you're supporting us as well. So check them out, read their articles, check out that line movement that we've been talking about, especially with all these illnesses and injuries leading up to the games. There's gonna be a ton of movement.
And it's so if you're betting, you have to go to OddsShark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it literally takes no time. You just go in there, you click on sports, you click on the numbers, and you can see the spread, over, under, all this stuff. And you can see from 7 different sites what that number is and how it differentiates between those, what the opening line was, so you can kind of see the trends.
Yeah, and it's a free resource too.
And it's free.
So
you don't have to sign up for this. You just go straight to the website, ODDSSHARK.com, and you get all this information. Dude, you'd be a fool not to. If you're betting, even if you're just betting $20, because it takes no time and it's free, just go to it. Just check it out. Just make sure you're getting the best number.
Agreed.
So we love OddsShark. We've loved them for a long time. So make sure you check them out. It's a great free resource. And check out their articles, man, because they got some awesome articles.
Yeah.
If you don't know anything about boxing, an upcoming boxing match or UFC match or something like that, you want to get to know the guys going up against each other. You want to know about each fighter's style and everything like that. OddsShark's going to have a write-up about that. Yep. You want to go and read it, go in there and read that. They're going to explain to you what type of fighters these guys are, all this stuff, man. It's
check
the best.
out OddsShark. Give us a thumbs up if you happen to be watching this on YouTube. Check out our recent John Stockton episode, which was awesome. Please do also give us a review if you'd consider that on iTunes. We got like 71 reviews, 4.9 stars right now, Chad. People love us. So we'd love to hear from you if you appreciate the show. If you don't appreciate the show, we don't want to hear from you. Just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, don't tell nobody.
Also, sign up for our newsletter. We're going to be revamping that soon. We're going to have some NFL and college football picks in there.
Yeah.
So sign up for our
newsletter. You can do that at hotpodmedia.com.
Yeah,
check out all of our past episodes. Like Tony said, give us a review, subscribe. Please tell your friends about the show. We'll be back next week with another awesome episode, maybe a guest, who knows. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please tell your friends about the show. For Tony, I'm Chad. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. You can find more episodes and all of our other Hot Pie Media originals baked fresh daily at our home online at hotpiemedia.com, the Hot Pie Media YouTube channel, or wherever you listen to podcasts.